What's up guys, Doomwake here, welcome back to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, first and foremost, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video, and if you feel so inclined, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. Thank you again for all the support we've had over the past couple of months. We are approaching 5,000 subscribers. I think at the time of recording this, we're somewhere in the 4,700 range. So thanks again for that. Let's try and get to 5K. Without further ado, here is the deck that we have in front of us. So we're going to be playing a little bit of Zoo today. Zoo is a deck that's been around for quite some time, utilizing cheap creatures, cheap removal, some burn spells, and I'm sure that you've seen, ever since MH2 came out, I'm sure you've seen Zoo decks that have incorporated Bloodbraid Elf and Shardless Agent, sometimes Mantis Rider, sometimes General Ferrous Rockerick, a lot of times Scion of Draco. We are choosing to eschew all of those 3 and 4 mana spells in favor of what I believe is one of, if not the best cards in Modern. You see it on your screen, Lurrus of the Dream-Den. So we do sacrifice a little bit of power in choosing to play Lurrus because, again, we don't get to play General, Scion of Draco, Mantis Rider, Cascade spells. However, what we get is a better late game and a much more aggressive shell. Right, because we're playing a lot more one-drops to make, to make up for the fact that we are playing Lurrus. So we have Dragon's Rage Channeler, we have everybody's favorite monkey Ragavan, and then Wild and the Catalyst are 1-mana creatures. We have Territorial Kavu, which is a domain creature. It's basically, if you can have a couple of Shocklands in play, it can be a 2-mana 5/5 that gets you some additional utility. Tarmogoyf, modern staple, it's been around forever. And Scourge of the Skyclaves, which is a card that is usually paired alongside with Death Shadow because they are sort of similar in how they play out. However, Scourge doesn't really ask you as much as Death Shadow does. Really, the only thing that Scourge asks you to do is just play with 1-mana creatures. And the reason for that is because you want to be able to get your opponent's life down total to a point where you can deploy a Scourge, to deploy a more aggressive Scourge, right? Where something like Death Shadow, you have to play a lot of cards to deal yourself damage, Dismember, Thoughtseize, Fetch lands, Shock lands, things of that nature. But Scourge doesn't ask you as much. Now, granted, it is 2 mana versus 1 mana, so it's a little bit of a pretty steep difference there. But the payoff sometimes is even a little bit better than Death Shadow. 2 mana 8/8, something like that. And you can play it a lot more, you can play it earlier more consistently than you can something like Death Shadow. And then our removal spells, we're choosing to go with Lightning Bolt, Seal of Fire, and Prismatic Ending, along with Tribal Flames. Now, Lightning Bolt, just a really stable card in red decks. Lightning Bolt is like the burn spells are especially good with Scourge of the Skyclaves because you can get into combat with Scourge, and let's say it's let's say you're at 16 and they're at 18 and you're attacking with a 2/2 Scourge. All of a sudden in combat, you bolt them, and now you have a 4/4 Scourge when they block with their 3/3 or something like that. So Lightning Bolt, very good removal spell, very efficient, really good with Scourge, just slam dunk. Seal of Fire, not the best card, because, in terms of like 1 mana, if you were talking about 1 mana removal spells, you're asking, well, why doesn't this deck play on Holy Heat? And the reason for that is, again, because of Scourge of the Skyclaves, and we also have Lurrus, so Lurrus plus Seal of Fire is pretty good. So that's why we're choosing to go with Seal of Fire here. Also, it's an enchantment for Dragon's Rage Channeler and Tarmogoyf, which can be very relevant as well. Tribal Flames, just a staple of these domain-style Zoo decks since basically the dawn of time. Again, similar to Kavu, if you have 5 land types, 2 mana for 5 damage. Doesn't really get much better than that in terms of rate. So just a really powerful card, can end games pretty quickly. Also, again, very good with Scourge. And then we're going with Prismatic Ending as our other removal spell of choice. I guess this is kind of the card that we're choosing to play over on Holy Heat. And the reason for that is because it's easier to, like, you don't want to rely on, Delirium. I can't think today. You don't want to rely on Delirium as much because our types are not that spread out. Like, we have 4 artifacts, 3 enchantments, but then the rest is just sorceries, creatures, and land. It's not like a ton. And we don't have as many enablers as the blue decks do. Like, if you look at the blue-red Murktide decks, they have Thoughtscour, they have Consider, they have way more cantrips, and they're filling their graveyard a lot more often than we are. This deck is more playing to the board, like we're trying to play a 1-drop into a 2-drop. We're not trying to mess around and trying to set up our graveyard just so we can cast our removal spell. We just want to curve out. And that's kind of what Prismatic Ending is doing here, just being able to always kill a 1-mana card without having to, set up your graveyard, right? And then we have Mishra's Bauble, again, obviously good with Lurrus to go alongside Dragon's Rage Channeler, and can, scry, sort of fake scry with fetch lands. We have 12 fetch lands and 6 shock lands sorted. Again, we want to make sure we get to 5 land types, and these are the shock lands that we're choosing to go with. And then in the sideboard, we have 2 copies of Path to Exile, which is mostly here to deal with Murktide Regent, because an 8/8 Murktide Regent dodges Prismatic Ending, Tribal Flames, and Lightning Bolt, and as well as Seal of Fire. So we want to make sure we have a nice clean answer to Murktide Regent if that gets out of control. Blossoming Calm is here for the burn matchup. I think you'd probably bring it against Mill, but I don't think it's here for just anything else besides Mill and burn. Roiling Vortex, which is good against people who are getting a lot of life, which is, it's more here for Cascade, though, because of that additional text. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, Whirling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. So if your opponent casts a Shardless Agent and they cascade into a Violent or Crashing Footfalls or a Living End, you just dome them for 5. So that's mostly what it's here for. Again, maybe you'd bring it against certain Omnath decks, like maybe you'd bring it against Elementals. I don't know that I would, although it also is good against Fury and Solitude, so maybe you would. We have Force of Vigor here, which is mostly for Hammer Time. Also, you want to make sure that you bring this in against Blood Moon, because if you look at our mana base, we're not very well set up to beat a Blood Moon, so you want to bring that in against those decks as well. And then Relic of Progenitus, which is mostly here for Living End, but you can also choose to bring it in against opposing Channeler / Murktide decks like the Blue-Red deck. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. I don't think there's anything we didn't go over. So, let's get into some games. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright, everybody, round number 1. Lurrus Zoo, let's see what we are up against. And our opening hand has no lands, so we will take a mulligan. Then we have Channeler ending 5 lands. I don't think I'm going to go to 5. Although this hand is obviously not very good. Maybe I'm supposed to go to 5. See what we got. I don't know. I mean, obviously this hand is like borderline. What's this? Ragavan. Okay, I'm going to elect to Prismatic Ending the Ragavan. And I'm playing a red source so I can double Channeler next turn. So we can go Blood Crypt, double Channeler. Goblin Bombardment. So this is the Jun Sack deck, it looks like. New plan. Red, white. I'm just trying to think if I want to get an Overgrown Tomb into play for 5 types next turn. That's probably unnecessary. There's already a land in the graveyard. I think it's better to play Goyf here because I want to try my best to wait a little bit on these Channelers to try and get them to 3/3s because they have the Bombardment in play. Look a little foolish for casting that Prismatic Ending now, because I would have loved to kill this Bombardment, but problem is if I play Channeler and they have a removal spell, like if I play Channeler and they play Wrenn and 6, it's quite bad for me. So we're both at 16. We have Sorcery Enchantment land in the graveyard. Alright, let's go to attacks. See what they want to do. I'm going to attack Grist. I assume they're just going to go block and shoot me. Which it looks like that's their play. They just forgot to shoot. Okay, take that. Let's get a Blood Crypt. Let's go play Scourge of the Skyclaves. Now, I'm on 2 card types. The question is, do I want to play this Channeler out? It's just so likely to die. I think it's okay. I want to be mana efficient. Next turn I can go like land 4, Channeler, plus put Lurrus in my hand. It's not great, but... So that pumped the Goyf, which is notable. Let's play a land. Let's go to attacks. Not really much we can do here. I think I gotta shove both at Grist. They're gonna cast Collected Company. Yep. This is not looking great. Not looking great. Because then they can just go probably block, and then shoot the channeler. Yep, so they're going to block. I mean, I guess the good news is that both creatures are lethal on the Grist now. So that's, I guess, something that we can look forward to. But we are not in great shape. I actually don't even think it's worth deploying the other channel. Because I just want to put Lurrus in my hand and not take damage. Yeah, let's actually just not play the channeler, because we are pretty close to Delirium. We are a bauble or an instant away. And then I could potentially go, like imagine if I drop bauble here, I can go Lurrus, channeler, bauble, second channeler. Alright, respond to that so I don't take damage. This might be lethal, though. 12, 10, and then 2, 4, 6, 8. So if they have a fetch land, I'm dead? Okay, they're choosing to minus the Grist. Interesting. So we need to find a removal spell for this devil. Well, they don't have a fetch land because I was definitely dead to that. Okay. Yes, they just don't have a land. Ragavan does not cut it. So I can go... Man, this is bad. Attack Grist. Attack Grist, I imagine they just chump block and shoot me for 2. I go to 9, then I can go Lurrus plus Channeler. I guess I could fetch Shock to 8 and go Lurrus Scourge, but then I'm at 8. They have a Devil and a Bombardment and a Bloodcast. And they make a token off Grist. I'm so likely to be dead at that point. Actually, I'd go to 6. I would just be dead on board, right? Make a token, 2, 4, dead to a land. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Alright, well, let's start by attacking Grist, because I'm pretty sure I have to do that. I mean, I could not attack with the Tarmogoyf, but still kind of still in a really bad spot. 6. I think I might just have to like go to 6 and jam Lurrus plus Scourge and just hope they somehow don't have anything. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know. This is bad. This is bad. And just auto yield to that to save some time. Okay, so Fetch Shock puts me to 5. And they have 4 damage in play. Actually, no, I'm just dead. Yeah, because they have this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I Fetch Shock, I'm literally dead. Literally dead on board, excuse me. So I guess I'm not going to do that. I guess I'm just going to go Lurrus Channeler. And I don't really know what I'm hoping for. I don't really think I have many outs. Don't really think I have many outs. Well, they tap their peatland. So, 2... So they sack the Bloodghast, kill the Lurrus, ping the Channeler. They're killing the Goyf and pinging the Channeler. Okay. Oh, sure. Didn't they just have me dead? Why did they kill my creatures? They could have just went, make a token, like, play the Bloodghast, shoot me for 2, make a token, shoot me for 2, play the land, shoot me for 8, and then, yeah, I was just dead. I mean, it didn't matter. They had me dead 1,000 different ways. Alright, Relic. And I don't think Blossoming Calm is good. Force of Vigor only hits Goblin Bombardment, so I think it's not really where I want to be. Vortex doesn't really seem like it does anything. And maybe I want Path for Mayhem Devil. I mean, pathing them up to Company is kind of bad, too. I think I'm just going to do some light sideboarding. Just 2 seals for 2 relics. I don't really think I want Path. Like, all my removal kills the 3/3 anyways. I guess I could play 1 Path over the last seal, because Seal is especially bad against Mayhem Devil. Just like, even if you have Lurrus, sacrificing Seal of Fire over and over again is not really what you want to do against the Mayhem Devil. It's a lot of Ragavans. I mean, I actually think this hand's a keep, because I have Relic, and Ending, and Ragavan. Just get a Sacred Foundry on turn 1. I know it looks weird, and it definitely is weird, but Relic is one of my better cards against them. And like, the thing about having multiple Ragavans is like, sometimes it's just not that bad, because they usually have to kill the first one. Alright, I got a Foothills. At least it's on camera. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. At least we have it caught on camera. Okay. I am 100% attacking. I know that I'm going to miss my land drop this way, but man, I really need this trade. Maybe that's worse than going Ending and then playing Nicodle, because I could play a 3/3. But, I mean, I'm missing my land drop either way. It's just applying more pressure. Oh, okay. Well, you know it's pretty good against 4 Ragavans. Ren and 6. Alright, so now I have to Ending this, because I have no green mana. I mean, I guess I could have dashed, attacked them, and played a Nicodle. Or maybe even attack Ren and just not play Nicodle that turn. Would that have been better? Maybe. It's all going downhill. It's all going downhill. Alright, well, you can deal me a point of damage. Let's get Overgrown Tomb for all 5 colors. I'll just play the last Ragavan. We got the last one in hand anyways, so I think it doesn't really matter if we play it or not. Because even if they kill it, we can just dash the last one. Need to find a Bolt. Need to find something to deal with Mayhem Devil. Preferably Bolt, because then I could go Bolt this and dash the last Ragavan. I'm just going to do this now so I can have 6. I assume we are dead. 4 Ragavans, huh? Remember when I said that the 3rd one wasn't that bad? Yeah, the 4th one might be bad. The 4th one might be bad. Oh, I see. I see. Culling Ritual. Right? 5? Seems like it's probably not a good matchup. Alright, you win. 0-1. Drew 4 Ragavans. That's all I got. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. Alright, YouTube, back here for round number 2. Let's see if we can draw less than 4 Ragavans this game. I mean, to be fair, I did keep a hand that had 3 of them. I get that. But a lot of 1-landers with this deck. I mean, we're only playing 18 lands, so I'm not, not surprised per se. I don't think I'm going to keep this one. Yeah, I'm kind of off that. Okay. Alright, this is better. Put back the second Bauble. Then we can go Sacred Foundry, Overgrown Tomb. I am going to play the Bauble on 1, I think. Because I would like to find a 2-drop, like a Tarmogoyf, or that. That works. We'll upkeep Bauble them. Flamekin Harbinger. This matchup is probably tough for us. Fury is a hell of a magic card. So they're going to cast the Harbinger. Imagine they get Risen Reef. If they already have Reef, maybe they get Fury or Solitude. Oh, I was wrong. They got Omnath. Alright. Draw a card. Can't play that. I mean, I'm allowed to cast it, but does not do what you want it to do. Alright, Kavu, your turn. I mean, at least we're not getting 2 for 1 by Fury. Well, I guess 2 for 2, but Fury is only killing 1 creature. And if they have Fury, they might be incentivized to do it now, because if they wait and I have a 5th type, then they can't Fury it after. So, I don't know. It's like a voice. You don't see voice in every elemental deck. Alright, another Kavu. So I could Prismatic Ending the voice before combat, but if I do, then I can't play the second Kavu. So let's just go to attacks. I think I'm going to loot away the Channeler. Yeah, because I want to have my land drops. I guess I could loot away this, right? They're going to be gaining a lot of life. This also gives me the opportunity to double spell if I drew a land. Alright, let's play the other Kavu. Yeah, the Scourge seems kind of tough. And this also sets me up for Delirium next turn, if I play the ending pre-combat. It's kind of awkward that I have a Sacred Foundry because I can't play Channeler and Ending. Unless I draw a 3rd land, which I kind of want to do anyways, but just like a Steam Vents would be nice. Because Steam Vents would allow me to go Channeler, Ending pre-combat, attack for 13, because the Kavus would get pumped, the Channeler would get Delirious, and then my board would be 2 5/5s and 2 3/3 flyers. Like, that would be quite good. Okay, so they're holding up Ephemerate. Not much I can do about that. So let's crack this. Let's get our Steam Vents. Let's play Channeler. I mean, I'm still going to cast the Prismatic Ending pre-combat because I really want to turn on Delirium. So, even though I know they probably have Ephemerate, like, if they're saving the voice, it's kind of whatever. Because then they still have to chump block. They may even have to chump block here, take 6. They probably can't afford to chump block here. I mean, obviously, if they have Solitude, it's bad. So they just go Solitude, pitch this, Ephemerate the Solitude. And then I am in bad shape. But there's not much I can do about that. I mean, I can represent Lightning Bolt, I guess, but they're probably not going to play around Lightning Bolt. I think I want that. Especially because they might be tapping out for Omnath next turn. Alright. I'll attack you. I'm going to choose to not do anything with the Kavus. Yeah, I'm just going to exile nothing from the graveyard. Because I kind of want to keep my Goyf. I guess I can just filter through the Goyf, draw the Tribal Flames, because I know I want the Flames and I kind of don't want the Goyf. Okay, so I'll do that, and then we'll exile nothing from the graveyard. But I don't want to discard the Tribal Flames, so. Certainly want to keep that one. But this gets me closer to another 1-mana spell, because I can't really utilize the Goyf anyways. What is this? Is this Endurance main deck? Okay, that's really bad for me. I was not expecting that. I don't see Endurance main deck a lot. Okay, never mind. I was not expecting that. I mean, this is still not bad at all, because I just get to go Tribal Flames your Omnath, attack you with 2 Kavus, they have to chump block. So this is still a pretty good spot. I want to find a Bolt. Because a Bolt gives me the option of potentially turning on Delirium. I guess Delirium's kind of irrelevant when they have this, so... Well, it wouldn't be, because they would have to chump block. Yeah. Okay. So creature, sorcery... Oh, they're just dead. Right? I Tribal Flames them. Right? It's 8. I attack with everything. Yeah. I guess unless they have Solitude. They get Solitude their own creature. Should I play around Solitude on your own creature? So let's say I attack with everything. They eat the Channeler with Omnath, chump the Kavu with Endurance, take 5, go to 4. Then I Tribal Flames them. Oh, no, because the Omnath's going to have a damage on it. Okay, so that's not even good enough. Yeah, because then I can just bolt the Omnath in response. Because they're gonna take 5, most likely. Unless they want to chump block with... if they want to chump block with both creatures, then I'm down with that. That also prevents Solitude, right? Because they chump, take 1, go to 8, and I have 8 damage. So I think either way we have that beat. I guess unless they Solituded the Kavu... Like the unblocked Kavu they could have Solituded, but... Okay. Playing against Elementals. Blossoming Calm, no. Vortex, I want to try Vortex in this matchup, and potentially Path to Exile. Seal of Fire can probably go again, so that's a nice easy swap. We're cutting Seal of Fire, but we're adding another enchantment, so it's like we're kind of have the same number of types. Do I want Path to Exile? It's pretty good against Omnath. Scourge of the Skyclave seems like a really bad card against them. They just gain so much life between this card's just awful against Solitude. So maybe like 1 Seal, 2 Path. Yeah, let's go with that. I like being able to Path on Omnath. Got a Ragavan. I got an Ending, I got a Vortex. Got a Bolt. Alright, I'll keep it. It is a 1-lander, but we're on the draw with the Bauble. And we have a turn 1 Ragavan. Although, it seems like they have Ragavan's Mortal Enemy, which is just a 1-mana 1/1. They got the Risen Reef. Alright, so let's get a Sacred Foundry. Because then I can potentially Prismatic Ending the Harbinger on 2 to get the Ragavan through. No point in bobbling them now. We know that their top card is Risen Reef, so I'll wait till they draw. Now, if they have a Voice here, that sucks. Because then they have 2 good blockers for Ragavan. Alright, they don't have a Voice, and they also don't have Ephemerate up, which is really important. They have a Solitude on top. Well, I kind of have to go for this. It's not great. Especially if they have a Solitude in their hand. We know they have one on top, but... see what you got. Seems like, yeah. Alright, that stinks. That definitely stinks, because we didn't draw a second land. No, that was the risk of keeping this hand, for sure. I mean, at least we can kill the Risen Reef. It's not too bad. We know they have another Solitude, though. We need a land here. God. Just gonna kill this thing now. Oh, well. Oh, well. You know, Ragavan, Bauble. Again, don't think the hand's a mulligan, but... they have Thunderkin Awakener. That's not a card... again, not a card I was expecting. Because obviously I got punished for casting the Bolt Bane phase, but I did not expect them... most Elementalists don't have this card. Alright, well, I didn't find a land anyways, so... we will move on to Game 3. Do I want Relic because they showed me Awakener? No, I mean... No. I don't want that. It's like only good against exactly Awakener. And I have enough removal spells to kill Awakener that it should be fine. Alright, game number 3, Lurrus Zoo. Path, Flames, Bolt, lands. Well, this hand doesn't have creatures, so I think you have to ship hands that don't have pressure. Okay. Finally, a keepable hand. So let's go keep this, put back Steam Vents. And this is a Blood Crypt Temple Garden angle. Yeah. Blood Crypt Temple Garden. So we're going to go Temple Garden first, Wild Nacatl. And then I get the double spell on 2. That's why I'm doing it this way. Because if I lead on Channeler, I can't have 4 land types and double Nacatl on 2. That's why I'm doing it like this. Let's go this, which will get Blood Crypt. Attacks. Attack with the Nacatl. Get the Blood Crypt. We take 3, we play Nacatl, we play a Channeler. And it's your turn. Finally get the triple 1-drop draw. Something that Zoo is famous for. There's only 12 1-drops, so you don't get it that often, but it's pretty good when you get it. And they have 2 Caverns, which means they cannot cast Ephemerate. Very important. Alright, they can, however, kill a Nacatl and a Channeler, which is kind of rude, but we can just Lurrus next turn. It's not too bad, unless we draw a 2-drop. What's this? Red, colorless. Thunderkin Awakener, the old post-combat Awakener. That was actually quite a good draw, too, because now I can hold up Bolt, just in case they put something in their graveyard for the Awakener. Alright, red-green. Foothills, which can get Steam Vents for the 5th type for Kavu. And the Kavu is actually quite good against the Awakener, too. Alright, they got a Reef. They got a Reef. So we're going to end of turn bolt the Reef. So I can untap, attack with both, eat the Reef with Kavu, and then also put Lurrus into my hand. Yeah, I like that. I do think I have to kill the Reef. It's awkward if they have a second one, but... Alright, so... Combat. Let's attack with both. Exile the Reef from the graveyard. They go to 6. And the question is, do we Lurrus or do we Nacatl? Let's see if they chump block. I don't think they're going to chump block because they're not dead to a Flames. So they go to 11. Huh. Lurrus or Nacatl? Lurrus or Nacatl? I actually think it's Nacatl. Yeah, I think it's Nacatl. Because if we Lurrus, we can't actually play a spell next turn unless we draw a land. Yeah. I mean, this does present lethal. I guess not if they have an Omnath. Still feel like it's better to do it this way. That is totally fine by me. That looks like a chump blocker. Unless they have Solitude. Remember, they still don't have white mana for Ephemerate, so... Kind of surprised they chump block with this last turn. Because they could have just went to 6 and not been dead to Flames. You only had 1 card in our hand. Yeah, see, now if I draw a land, I could just loot with the Kavu. Which is dope. And then if I find a burn spell, I can cast the burn spell before it blocks. Did not. But now they have to chump block, take 6. I guess they could Solitude, get rid of this, take 6, go to 5, and then I Lurrus. And they pitched an Ephemerate, so, yeah. We kind of assumed they had Ephemerate in their hand. Just didn't have white mana. I mean, they probably should have done that before I attacked, right? It just gave me a loot for free. And they're still chump blocking, which is interesting. Alright, so I'll upkeep Bauble, see what their top card is. It is a Ragavan Triome. Funnily enough, it's a white source, but it comes into play tapped. Which is pretty good for us. But now they have Omnath. That's not good. Okay, see if they find a fetch. Because they didn't have a fetch last turn, they would have played it. They did find a fetch. And we know they have Ragavan Triome. Yeah, it's the only card we know about. Okay, things are getting dicey. We need to find a Tribal Flames or a Path to Exile. Alright, they're fetching main phase, which is interesting. Alright. So that gets back the Reef. The Reef triggers. Alright, we'll take 2. Yeah, we need to find the Tribal Flames. Or Path. But we need to find an answer to this Omnath. Roiling Vortex. And this is why I hate this card. I mean, I guess we can cast it and activate it on their upkeep. But the problem is we still can't even attack. I think I just have to go Lurrus plus Channeler. Yeah, I think I got a Lurrus Channeler here. Can make a flyer. It's a 3/3. I gotta get some kind of pressure on them. I mean, we have good blocks. I can double block Omnath. We can eat the Awakener. So, I mean, depending on what they have, we have decent blocks. We know they have a Triome, which is, you know, whatever. Stomping Ground as well. So they still have Triome. We have to be a little bit careful about Fury if we decide that we want to block. Like if they attack with the Awakener. Alright, so they're going to cast Solitude. Sure. Lurrus is dead. Alright, we need that removal spell. Seal of Fire. Don't know if that's going to cut it. They have 2 cards, one of which is a Triome. Alright, let's go to attacks. Just send the Channeler. And then I'm going to cast Seal of Fire. Get a Surveil. Just trying to find burn spells. Graveyard. And now we can cast the Vortex. Surveil. Get rid of that. And then I will pass with the Vortex. I think I might upkeep activate it, because it's one of these situations where, let's say, if I wait until they play a fetch land, they can respond to me activating the Vortex and fetch again, and they still gain the life. So you kind of always want to do it on their upkeep. Just worth noting. Alright, they get a voice. Still know about the Triome. Red, black, red. Is this Lightning Skelemental? Sure. Are they going to shove with everything? I mean, their attacks aren't great. They're going in there. So I can eat the Awakener, trade with the Solitude, Seal of Fire the Skelemental, and they still don't gain life. Okay, so the last card's Triome. So trade with this and then Seal of Fire this thing. Or they're at 11? Hang on. 6, 8, 6, 5. I mean, if I take this and draw Tribal Flames, I can kill them, right? Because it's 3, 4, 5. Plus 1 from the Vortex is 6. Plus 5 from Flames is 11. What I kind of want to do is just go trade, take, and then seal this thing. So they have a Voice and an Omnath left over. I think I like that. So I'll just take the 6. Remember, they still don't gain life. That's fine. I have no cards. The Skelemental dies, and then we can just Seal Fire the Awakener. And this also gives us the auto-drawing Tribal Flames for lethal. Prismatic Ending. Excuse me. Well, that one's not too bad. So I can Ending the Omnath, and then just send, and then seal this thing. Let's do that. White, black, blue, green. So Ending the Omnath. Surveil says, I think we're past the point that I want Tarmogoyf. And then I will go to attacks. Remember, they still have a Triumph in hand. And then I can just Seal Fire the Awakener. Jump blocking the Nicodle. So they go to 8. I'm going to kill the Awakener now because I don't want them drawing Ephemerate. Because if I go to attack and seal the Awakener, they can Ephemerate and still attack with the Awakener. I guess I lose to Skelemental this way. Because it's just 8 damage. But if I don't seal the Awakener, I lose to Ephemerate, right? Because then I go to seal it, they Ephemerate it, and then they attack and get the Skelemental back anyways. So at least by doing it this way, Ephemerate isn't a real draw. Like it has no impact. So I think this makes more sense. It's a tight game. This is game 3, right? Yeah, this is game 3. Okay, they're just passing. They played the Triumph and didn't cycle it? That is very odd. Alright, attacks. I think I gotta attack them both. What's this? What did they draw? They draw Solitude? Come on. It's so bad for me. Alright, go. Man. Again, just do it upkeep. Well, they're still dead, the Tribal Flames. They're at 6. Need them to brick. So far, their first draw step was not a brick. It was a Solitude. Seems like their second draw step might be a brick. So we're going to take 3 and go to 7. Yeah, we got to find something here. I mean, even just a blocker would be fine. But our first draw step was a blank. Yeah, we're actually, if we draw a land, we're dead. Tribal Flames. Channeler. Alright, that might give us a turn, I guess. I guess there's no reason not to play the land, but... Alright, upkeep this. Trade here, go to 3. Upkeep, go to 2. We gotta find Tribal Flames. At this point, I think it's just Tribal Flames. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I'm not supposed to activate that because of Solitude. They only have 1 Solitude left. But now, by doing an upkeep, if they play Solitude, they just kill my thing and I don't gain 3 life. So maybe I'm supposed to respond. I think blocking Kahira is better. Not sure. So go to 3. What's this? Endurance. Sure. Endurance is fine. Still need the draw Tribal Flames. So this puts us to 2, and the Vortex puts us to 1. Alright, Tribal Flame's still lethal. Any Tribal Flames, please? Ooh. Ah, man, what an insane game. Woo. Ooh, boy. What a sick game. I mean, they could have Force, I guess, but... yeah, what a sick game. What a sick game. Wow. So that was round number 2. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 3. All right, everybody. We are back here for round number 3. 1-1 currently. And yeah, this hand seems fine. I think I'm going to lead on Stomping Ground to Coddle. And then we can go turn 2, Sacred Foundry, hopefully Channeler plus Ending or Channeler plus Bolt. It is kind of awkward that we don't have access to all 5 types of this hand because we don't have Watery Grave. For good reason. You don't want to put Watery Grave in your base Naya deck, but just something to consider when you're like trying to sequence your fetch lands. That's the one thing about Zoo. It's always been the hardest. Is just like how to sequence your fetch lands and your shock lands. It's the most important thing with this deck. Just trying to figure out which lands you want and when. Alright, we got into Coddle. Opponent went to 5. 5, no companion. Burning Catacombs. Alright, I don't think we're going to be casting any removal spells, so let's just play this tapped, attack for 3, and then play a Channeler. This is likely going to be relegated to getting Blood Crypt, because that's our second colored source for Lurrus, and we have black cards in our deck, but no blue cards. So the blue source is typically unnecessary up until the point until you've reached the point where you're casting Tribal Flames. Is this Jund Company again? Could be. All right, let's bobble ourselves first. Try and get some Delirious. This is really awkward because, all right. Well, I'm just gonna fetch anyways. So I'm actually gonna top that. The reason I'm topping that is because I don't want to put it into my graveyard, because then I lose access to the to the ability to cast Tribal Flames for the full value. So let's go Blood Crypt, attack for. I mean, I guess I could just fire off some burn spells, try to get Delirious. Honestly. Kind of don't hate that. Let's go graveyard this. Maybe this is worse than just casting Bolt, or than putting Lurrus in my hand, but... okay. So they go to 3. We draw a card off Bauble. I don't know, putting him to 3 is not bad. Got 2 lethal creatures. Got Tribal Flames in hand. Seems like a fine line. Alright. So they showed us a Copperline Gorge, a Verdant Catacombs, a Blood Crypt. Well, I guess we're going to put them on the Jund Company deck. The deck that we played against round 1. So... just Relic and Path, maybe? Kind of don't like Calm, Vortex, or Force. Let's cut down on... I mean, is Relic even that good against them? It only stops Bloodghast, right? Trying to think of anything else that Relic is even good. Maybe it's just Path. Yeah, let's just do 2 seals for 2 paths. Actually, the more I think about it, I don't even think Relic is that good against them. Let's just do this. I mean, assuming that they are playing the Jund Sack deck, which, given they had Copperline Gorge, I think it's safe to say that that's what they're playing, and they're playing with Jund Colors, no companion, so they're not playing the Jund Saga deck. And there aren't many Jund decks that aren't playing a companion outside of, like, the Jund Sack deck. So I would put a safe bet that that's what they're playing. Alright. Got some creatures. I'd like to find some interaction, but I don't think this hand's a mulligan. Alright, opponent kept 7. We have to decide if we want to lead on Ragavan or Nicodle. Leading on Ragavan is so much worse if they have Red and 6, so I think I might just lead on Nicodle. Just do the Temple Garden Blood Crypt line. Yeah, so they're definitely playing the Junsac deck. Yeah, I'm gonna lead on. I'm gonna go Nicodle into Goyf and hold off on the Ragavan. It's just so bad if I play Ragavan and they have Red and 6. So I will play Nicodle. I guess we can bobble them. No reason not to. Even though it's not really going to change my play. Alright, let's go crack this for a Temple Garden. Play Wild Nicodle. Prismatic Ending is not bad. Now I could double spell on 2. Mayhem Devil. It's not great for me, because all of my lands are fetch lands. Alright, I think I have to go play this and attack. I don't think they're blocking. I think I might just play a Goyf. Be nice to kill their Hierarch, though. Maybe I should just kill the Hierarch. And then I could just kill the Devil next turn. Yeah. Because it cuts them off mana. More importantly, it cuts them off black. They might just not have black mana in their hand. And I take less damage. Yeah, I'm kind of down with this, actually. Let's take this line. Just kill all their stuff. Make it so we have a bigger Goyf when we decide to play it. I mean, I guess it's not certain they don't have black mana, because they would have played Gorge last turn anyways, even if they had a black source in their hand. Unless it was like a Black Leaf Cliffs, but... Seasoned Pyromancer. Discarding 2 lands. Okay, they're definitely not short on lands. Alright, I think I will happily offer this trade, so let's do that. See if they want to make that trade. Wonder why they didn't... I guess they're worried about Ragavan. Okay, that chump block works for me. Oh, I see. Because now if I fetch, they can... Okay, I get it. So I just can't fetch here then. Sure, that's fine. Because my Nicodle has 2 damage marked on it, so if I fetch, then... Yeah. Right, that's why they chump blocked. That does make sense. Alright, I'm going to fetch in response to the company, in case they hit a second Devil. And I'm just going to get an ETB tap, Steam Vents. I mean, we got 2 more removal spells in our hands, so... I think we're doing okay. Let's see what they hit. Maybe they'll just whiff. Okay. Not a whiff, but manageable to an extent. That's a big Goyf. Oh boy, that's a big Goyf. So now I can go Channeler plus Tribal Flames the Devil. And then just shove with everything. I do think I have to kill this Mayhem Devil now. I think I need to get that out of here. 6, 9. I could also leave back the Nicodle to block the Ragavan. Wish I had a Bolt, because what I want to do is Goyf plus Bolt the Devil, but I don't think I can afford to just play 2 creatures and let them have the Devil for another turn. I guess I could also Prismatic Ending the Devil and then just send the Goyf. So I can save the Tribal Flames to go upstairs. Huh. Tough line. Tough line. I could triple spell. I could go Channeler Ragavan, ending the Ragavan. I don't know if I like that. I mean, that's actually not a bad line. Channeler, ending the Ragavan, play my own Ragavan. Just go super wide. I don't know. I feel like giving them one more turn with this is bad. Alright, I'm going to go Channeler plus Tribal Flames. It does kind of stink to use the Tribal Flames when they're like, you know, kind of within burn range, sort of, but yeah, I just want to hit Delirium, so I'm going to bin that. Because that actually lets me attack with both. Now that I have Delirium, because the Channeler checks the Ragavan. So they're going to chump that and take 3. Ooh, I'll take the trade. I'll take that trade. I mean, I got a Goyf and a Channeler versus no board. I assume they have another company in their hand, but... What's this? Red, green. Sure. That is more than fine. Now they're going to play another Pyromancer? Maybe they just have removal spells. This is probably a Dash Ragavan turn, right? What if I just Dash Ragavan and shove at them? Isn't that good? That's gotta be good, right? Just Dash Ragavan everything at you? Yeah, I'm here for it. I don't really care about the Ren. I don't think so. And again, they're so close to dead. I assume they have some sort of removal spell here. Like a trophy, or... Oh, do they have Endurance? That's what this is? Okay, sure. So they get to eat the Channeler. They still take a pretty big hit, though. I mean, they probably eat the Ragavan and not the Channeler, right? And then they take 5 and we just play another Goyf. Yeah, sure. They have 1 guard. I'm about it. I'm about it. And then I can just kill this thing next turn and shove. I gotta get a green source for the Goyf. Alright, your turn. Calling Ritual would stink, because that would kill both Goyfs. But outside of that, I think we're doing okay. Yeah, that's dead. Sure. They have 1 card remaining. Is it a company? I sure hope not. A lot of people playing this Jund Sack Company deck. It's a good deck, for sure. It's definitely a good deck. Is this a Pyromancer? Alrighty. Oh, sure. They have 2 Pyromancers in their graveyard. Right. So, ending this and force them to chump with the Endurance? I think I like that. White, blue, red. Done. And that puts a 5th type in the graveyard because they have no sorcery. Because they could have a 2nd Endurance here. Not really scared about this Ren and 6, so... Yeah, they definitely could have a 2nd Endurance. And they would Endurance themselves. And then we would have 2, 3, 4 Goyfs. Alright, does not look like they have another Endurance. So they go to 2. Probably don't want to fetch. Nope, they're going to go to 1. I guess there's not much difference between 2 and 1. Because all my burn spells would kill them anyways. Yeah. I guess if they think I have Ren and 6, maybe, but... So they're not dead, because they have Pyromancer to chump block. So they can just make 2 tokens, double chump block. But they're getting into a territory where we just have them in the double abyss, which is definitely not a place you want to be. Also, they're just dead too. A haste creature or a burn spell. Basically anything. Still ignoring the Ren and 6 for sure. So they Pyro, they chump. We plan to coddle and put Lurrus in my hand, I think. I'll let them have the Ren and 6 again. I would much rather just use my mana Lurrusing, I think. Because Lurrus lets me Lurrus Ragavan dash if I draw land to present 4 lethal attackers. All right, so now we have 3 lethal attackers. And again, if we draw land, like the Lurrus thing there just makes land a lethal draw, which is pretty important. Because land gives me 4 attackers. So, like, now, pretty much every spell and every land is a good draw. Like, there's just no... Yeah, at this point, there's just nothing in my deck that's not a bad draw. I guess that would have been... but anyways, 2-1, we were able to defeat... We got our rematch, able to defeat the Jun Company deck. 2-1, I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 4. Alrighty, round number 4, here we are. Opponent has a Lurrus. We have a 1-lander, but we have Channeler Double Bobble. I'm in. Silent Clearing. Alrighty. Hammer time. I feel like this matchup is probably not great game 1, but we got Force of Vigor for game 2. Let's go this. And I think this is a Blood Crypt angle, because Blood Crypt Temple Garden sets me up best given my hand, I think. And I have to go Channeler Double Bobble to try and hit land drop number 2. So, yeah, they get an extra card, but not much I can do about it. Graveyard. The Steam Vents is trolling me. I have to graveyard it. We got a drum. Alright, you have a drum. Alright, cool. At least we drew a Foothills. So we know about a drum. They attack with Sentinel, I might just block. Okay. I kind of figured they wouldn't attack with Sentinel. Although maybe they're incentivized to because I'm close enough to Delirium. But they choose not to, which understandable. They have a Saga. Gotta play the drum. And... okay, that's bad. We got a Plains on top. Sucks because I can Prismatic Ending the plating, but I'm giving them another card. So creature, artifact, land. This is bad. This is bad. They also have Saga to make tokens. Just like this is just the spot. I just don't really know how I'm supposed to win this game. It's like one of these things where what does a winning situation look like for me? Do I have to like try and race with Channeler and Tribal Flames? Is that my only way to win? Because if I try and fight over the battlefield, I can ending the plating. They just draw a card and make a Saga token. I can ending the Sentinel and pay. They just equip plating and shove. I can play a Kavu. They just equip plating and make a Saga token. Just like none of my plays are good. Not a single one of them. Yeah, I really don't know how I'm supposed to win this game. This Hammer Time deck is way too good. I guess my best shot is to at least kill this to stave off a little bit of pressure. I don't even think it's close to good enough, but I think that is probably my only play this turn. Kind of need to look for lands. Definitely don't want that. Alright, take 3. Kind of sucks too because we bend our only blue source, so I can't even Tribal Flames for 5 now. Because I had to bend the Steam Vents when I was looking for land number 2. Super awkward. God, it's Hammer Time deck. Don't really know how anyone ever beats it. Alright, I've seen enough. Game number 2. Force of Vigor, Path to Exile. Let's cut, I think Ragavan's the cut. And then maybe 1 Seal of Fire, 1 Scourge. Let's cut a Scourge, because I want to keep all my interaction. Let's do that. Alright, game number 2. At least we got Force of Vigors. And we have a Force of Vigor in our opening hand. We don't have a 1-drop, but I'm definitely going to keep this. I mean, you just can't mulligan a hand with Force of Vigor against this deck. It is a requirement in order to beat it. Well, in order to have a chance against it. It's not even that, like, it's not even that the one copy of Force of Vigor beats them. It's like you have to have something else. You have to have other removal spells, or you have to have, you know, back it up with pressure. It's just, it's Hammer Time deck. Way too good. In my opinion, at least. In my humble opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I think it's a little bit much. I'm not going to force just the drum. I'm going to play a Kavu here. Kavu hits harder. I'd rather pitch the Glyph to the Force. A little bit worse if they have Ending, but... Kavu, your turn. Esper Sentinel. Alright. We'll let that happen. Another Esper Sentinel. Okay. No second land, though. Is this a spot where I just want to blow up their Sentinels? Because they missed a land drop that also cuts the drum. Yeah, I'm kind of here for it. Question is, do I want to discard a Tarmogoyf? I think I might actually just do nothing. So let's exile nothing. I assume they're not going to block. And then maybe what I want to do is play a Tarmogoyf. Excuse me, and then force pitch the other Goyf, give them 1 card. So let's do that. So let's get our blue source for Tribal Flames for 5. So they go to 13. We play a Goyf. And then we go pass, upkeep. I'm going to force their 2 Sentinels on upkeep and pay for 1 of them. And the reason I'm forcing the Sentinels is because it cuts the drum off of mana. So it's like, I could choose to kill the drum and the Sentinel, but them keeping the Sentinel in play, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit worse. This also puts 3 types in the graveyard for Goyf, which is pretty good. They're floating mana now. Do they have Path? Look at that Path. Sure. No, I won't search. Alright. Got a 5/5, an Ending, and a Tribal Flames. Let's hope that's good enough. Sanctifier we don't really care about because we have the Ending. That is more than fine. And Kavu puts them to 6. I'm actually just going to Tribal Flames them now. Because that means they can't even use the clearing. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now. The reason I'm doing it now is because I want to do it anyways, but I'd rather use 2 of my mana now, because then if I draw like a 1-drop, I can go Lurrus plus 1-drop or something like that, so I think it's better to do it that way. Alright, to game 3 we go. Let's draw Force of Vigor again. Game 3, this hand does not have a Force of Vigor. However, I have a Nicodle, a removal spell, and a Scourge. Don't think I'm supposed to mulligan, but I definitely could see this hand maybe being a mulligan. All right, they went to 5 and they have a giver. Okay, that's a good start for us. So now I can go Channeler, Bauble, turn 2, Bolt, Nacatl. So let's do that. Let's go Channeler, Bauble. Kind of want to bin that. I just want to find more interaction. That's all I really want to look for. All right, they have a path. Okay. They have a Saga and a Mystic. So, get a hammer probably. Plating. So they got path, plating, one unknown. Ready? So now let's go get Sacred Foundry. And I think I'm going to Bolt the Giver. Just want to find interaction. If we don't want lands. And then we'll attack for 3 and play Nacatl. Alright, sure. It's fine. Protection from red. They take 3. Next turn we can double spell. Their Saga tokens are going to be a little bit small this turn if they choose to do that, so we at least have that going for us. Path to Exile is a heck of a draw. Let's go to combat first. See what they choose to do. Because we know about Path Plating. I imagine they just take 6. So now I have a decision if I want to play Scourge plus Nacatl or Scourge plus Hold Up Path. I think I'm just going to play Scourge plus Nacatl. Yeah. Just really put the pressure on them. Alright. Your turn. And we can even Path a Construct next turn. I don't know that they can afford to make a second Construct here. They're kind of in an awkward spot. Alright, they are going to make another Construct. Which means our Path is probably going to be pretty good. Because I assume they're going to set up 2 3/3s on the Nacatls. Ooh, and they don't have a lance. They're just holding a Path. Okay. Ooh. Well, hello there. Alright, let's go to attacks. Attack with all of my creatures. Do I want to pass priority? No, I'll path one of these just to keep the Nacatl around. Graveyard. I think I'm just going to hold up the Force, too. They get a land. They're probably going to path the Channeler. And we won't search for a land. They're pathing the Scourge. Okay, interesting. So they're at 6. Yeah, I'll just pass, I think. Does it make more sense to play the Nacatl here? If I play Nacatl, and I don't draw a land for this Force of Vigor, it's kind of awkward. But I don't think I'm going to be casting it on their turn anyways. Like, we know they have a plating. Alright, I'm just going to play it. I don't know if that's right, but I'm just going to play it. That might be wrong. Like, depending on what they do. I was worried about them having, like, plating plus Shadow Spear, but I guess they don't have enough mana to do all of that and equip. Because that would be the worry about not having up Force that turn, but they would need 2, 3, 6 mana, so yeah, they're just too far away from that. But yeah, I don't know. We somehow beat Hammer Time, even though I never ever beat Hammer Time with any deck ever, so that's cool. We're 3-1. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 5. All right, everybody. Round number 5. All of the marbles. This hand's dope. I got a Ragavan. We got a turn 2 4/4. We got a redraw. This hand's just really nice. Just a beautiful hand. I think I am gonna Ragavan on one. Yeah, I'm going to Ragavan on one. Let's go Blood Crypt. Cast Ragavan, bobble you, and then bobble them in their upkeep. Always remember to bobble upkeep in case they have a discard spell. All is dust. Don't think we have to worry about discard spells in this matchup. That is a good card to know about. Not that I think I might be able to beat it if they ever cast it, but it's good one to know about. Alright, go to attacks. See if they have a dismember. Alright, so I think I just have to put as much pressure on them as possible. So let's play a Kavu and a Nicodle. Just need to try and go wide. I mean, I know they have All is Dust. If they have Natty Tron, it's going to suck, but they have a Chalice. That is more than fine. They also notably did not play a Tron land that turn, so they are nowhere near casting All is Dust when they need to. I'm just going to loot away the Tarmogoyf. They take 1,000,000 damage. We're going to cast a Scourge of the Skyclaves, and it's your turn. Alright. So that was easy. Can play a Thought-Knot Seer, Jump Block here, still dead on board. Cool. 1-0 against E-Tron. Blossoming Calm, no. Path to Exile, probably. Force of Vigor, yes. Seal of Fire, no. And what is our next worst card? Prismatic Ending is not great against them because most of their important cards are 4 and 5 mana, like Smasher and Thought-Knot Seer. It does kill Chalice, which is notable, but we are bringing in Force of Vigor, so we don't need it as much. And I think I'd rather have Path to Exile because it answers more of their creatures for more efficiently. So I think I'm just going to cut 2 endings, and we'll call it a day. I want to keep all my threats, I think. Alright, here's our cat. See if we can do that again. This hand is not quite as good as our first hand. Is it keepable? I think we can do better. This is not exactly better, but I think on 5 I'm willing to keep it. Or on 6, excuse me. What I meant to say is I don't want to go to 5. Draw 1-drop, this hand's dope. Kind of awkward that our only 2 black lands are Blood Crypt, Overgrown Tomb. Honestly, the Stomping Ground has felt like the worst land in this deck. I know that sounds very weird for like a deck that has Wild Nicodle and Tarmogoyf, but Stomping Ground feels like the worst land. I think it's a requirement because you have Nicodle and red 1-drops, but alright, we'll do this. I think we're just gonna go Temple Garden, Blood Crypt again. They have the TKS. It's nice that they're basically... Oh, no, they don't have the TKS. I was going to say, it's nice that they're basically forced into taking Tribal Flames if they do have it, but... Alright, let's go... Temple Garden... Yeah. Where were you last turn? Let's get a Blood Crypt. Play 4/4. Would have been nice to draw a green card, so I could potentially have Force of Vigor available to me, but... Or if they're casting Dismember, that's actually not bad, because now we can play Scourge. And it's kind of funny. Now they can't play another Dismember on the Scourge, because they're at 16. And if they try to Dismember the Scourge, it actually would be... because they lose 4 life as part of casting it. So if they cast another Dismember, they go to 12 and it's an 8/8. Also, drew a green card, which is kind of cool. So now we have Force of Vigor. If that is necessary. So they could smash us. I would not enjoy getting smashed. Chalice of the Void, X equals 0. Okay. The last card's got to be a smasher, right? Could be an All Is Dust, I guess. Untap. Wild Nicodle. Alright, I think I am going to... I think I'm going to Tribal Flames them for 4 pre-combat. Because I want to try and get Delirium. That does not get me Delirium. We needed an instant or an artifact. I don't think I want to draw it, though. Because I anticipate they're going to be chump blocking with this Matter Reshaper this turn. Like, they're not just going to take 8, I don't think. So we attack, they chump block, and then I play Nicodle. And then if their follow-up is Crack for Temple, untap All Is Dust, that's not that bad. Because we have a follow-up Kavu. So I think I'm willing to extend this into All Is Dust, because it just puts lethal in play. I guess not if they Warping Wail the Channeler. It doesn't put lethal in play, but... I guess it's pretty likely they have All Is Dust, right? Nope, they got Power Plant. Alright, they probably don't have All Is Dust then. Karn the Great Creator. Aren't they just dead on board? They could have Warping Wailed the Channeler. Oh, they can get... No, it doesn't do it. It's because they can get Tormod's Crypt, but yeah, it doesn't do it. Okay. I mean, they got the Warping Wail. I guess they very likely they were just dead anyways, but... Cool. Seems like we got the GGs. Nice little 4-1 with the Zoo deck. Only lost to the Jund Sacrifice deck, which I think, you know, we ended up beating it the next round, but that is probably not the best of matchups. 4-1 with this deck. Felt pretty good. Very nice aggressive strategy. If you enjoy, you know, playing Tribal Flames and all those old school domain cards, I guess the only one is Tribal Flames in this deck. But deck's really powerful. It's got a lot. It's got a good curve. It's got good removal. Very, you know, aggressively slanted creatures. So if you want to play Zoo, this is what I would probably recommend. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.